What's up guys, here with my 2016 BMW M2, and I want to make a video that I don't really want to make. Yeah, the M2 is starting to show its age, and I want to call a couple things out for you guys, just in case you guys are in the market for an M2, that this is something that maybe you'll come across on your car, maybe not. But either way, I wanted to kind of make a video on it, just kind of one as an update about the car and kind of its condition. Overall, it's in fantastic condition, still looks great, but there are a few things that are definitely starting to make it show its age, and I'm going to show you guys what those are now, and maybe you guys can keep an eye out for those on your own cars as well. So let me flip the camera, let me start showing you and giving you guys a little tour. Now, like I said, for the most part, this car still looks absolutely phenomenal considering it's a 2016. But it is starting to show some wear in places like this. So this is the rubber trim that goes along the bottom of the windshield, and you can see it's already like cracked in some spots. It's cracked in a lot of spots. Here it's like completely lifting. Here it's already kind of become brittle and is starting to break off. So this is definitely something I'm gonna have to replace probably soon before the winter. So probably next time I get an oil change, it's something I'll have to replace, unfortunately. It is something that is definitely showing its age. So the next thing we're gonna look at is under the hood. And while there's nothing particularly old about this, nothing's really showing its age all that much. I am concerned that the rubber hoses and gaskets and stuff like that are probably slowly gonna be on their way out. That's just a consequence of it being as old as it is. There's not much I can really do about that. But this right here, the cooling cap. So if you don't know, I made a video a while back about that cooling cap actually rupturing and breaking. That is a common issue in this car. It's a known thing, but nonetheless, because it is plastic, I wanted to point it out, because plastic does kind of get old with age, it becomes brittle. That is something that you guys probably do have to keep an eye out for as time goes on inside your M2. Okay, and on the rear of the car, I just covered up the plate so I don't have to do that in post. Everything looks great, looks fine, drives fine. However, the rear suspension, and I suspect it's more so on this side, it sounds like a freaking truck. So when I go at like slower speeds, when it's cold out, if I go over like an uneven road or especially speed bumps, oh boy, does this car creak. Like if you guys ever watch those movies where someone's in like an old abandoned ship or an old metal structure and you hear those loud kind of creaks as the building sways back and forth, that's what this car sounds like at the moment. So I don't know if that's just age or if something's actually kind of breaking down or worn or whatever. Definitely something I'm going to get checked out again before the winter. But that is definitely something I'm going to have to get sorted out because it's a bit embarrassing. You go over like a speed bump in this thing, and as soon as the rear kind of goes up and plops down, it just sounds like a metal truck just going wah, wah. And it's pretty bad. It's pretty horrible. So definitely showing a bit of age there. But otherwise, like from the back, aesthetically, nothing looks wrong with this car. Like it looks phenomenal. It is filthy as can be. I am going to get this detailed before the winter. Now, something that none of you guys really know is this car actually has a minor accident history. So somewhere in the back, I don't remember if it's this side or this side, but it has a minor accident on the Carfax when I bought it in like the rear quarter. Now, when I had this car inspected during a PPI, they checked specifically and like they couldn't find anything that was remotely related to the accident. So it was probably just as minor as like a little dent or a scratch. Maybe if at worst like the rear bumper was replaced or something like that. But like the panels, everything was fine, everything was perfect. Like there's nothing off that would kind of raise any red flags. So for a car that technically has a accident history, for the money I got off on this car for like no problems at all, that's pretty good. But yeah, the suspension is definitely showing its age. Over on this side, it looks to me like, because the PPF kind of runs right here, it looks like they just didn't apply it properly, because I could see two tiny little bubbles there. So it looks like this part just wasn't done right. So it's like dirt and grime like goes over here. It looks like it just kind of bubbled its way in there. Not something that's really showing its age, but if you looked at the car, you would say, oh, what is that? Is that rust? It looks a little weathered, but that's just the PPF. But overall, because this car has the whole front PPF and some of the rear quarter. This car is in phenomenal condition. Now let's go to the inside. I think the inside shows a little bit more. This is the inside, and overall everything like is still really nice, really phenomenal. This handle is, I don't know, a little creaky sometimes, but I think that's just with like specifically cold weather. Overall, everything looks good, everything's nice. Now the leather in this car, here I have like a small few scratches in the headrest from one of my hats. So yeah, if you've ever seen my videos on my M240i, I'm not a fan of this leather at all. I think it's some of the cheapest garbage I've ever seen. The screen. Now this you probably have seen in many of my videos. You have my little Hot Wheels there of my BMW M2. I have bubbling inside the screen here and over on this edge. Let me close the door. So this bubbling it's normal and it's not. It is a common enough thing that if you look for like used screens, you will see a bunch of them with this problem. It doesn't really affect your screen usability. So if I turn my car on, you'll see everything is pretty much fine. I could go to navigation. It doesn't really affect it. It's just a bit of an eyesore, and eventually it's going to spread enough that it may become a problem. Yeah, this is something that definitely comes with both age and how you keep the car. So this car I currently keep outside, which I also did with my M240i, but my M240i never had this problem, and it's the same exact screen. But supposedly, if you keep the car outside in very hot weather, this can happen, which again, like I said, my M240i, this never happened, so it is just a weird thing. Now I did buy it with this because I thought, well, I'll just upgrade to an aftermarket screen. I'll just get some money off. It's really not that big of a deal to me. A bit of a discount there for the car. Don't really mind it all that much. I honestly forget it's there half the time, so not really a big deal. Now for the most part, that's pretty much it. You look on the back, everything looks pretty good. There's a little Grogu, and yeah, the car held up like phenomenally over these years. Like besides the suspension, there's no creaks. Oh, the steering wheel. So the steering wheel for the most part is in pretty okay condition, except right here you could see it's really starting to wear up top. I don't really have many options for this. I can either replace it or get it like repainted, and either way it's going to be a ridiculous amount of money, like in a couple of hundreds. It's not really worth doing. It is a bit of a pain. It has like a weird texture to it now where this kind of peeled off over time. It's not really worth it to me to repair it or replace the steering wheel. If I come across one for cheap, I'll do it. But the problem also too is every steering wheel I find that is like OEM has the paddle shifters for the dual clutch, but this being a manual, I need one without the paddles, because then it's just stupid if you have a manual but you have ones with paddles. Yeah, let's hop back out of the car because it looks like it stopped raining. I mean, like I've said before in this video, this car is still aesthetically phenomenal. It performs phenomenally. There's really no issues with the car mechanically. Yes, the plastic is a bit of a concern, along with like the rubber, especially like that sealing by the window there, by the windshield. That's a concern. The rear suspension I have to get looked at. Other than that, it's not enough of a problem to really dissuade you from buying a 2016 model. Definitely, if you are interested in like a first generation M2, they are phenomenal cars. I have had issues with these. I'll make another video talking about that, or if you want to watch my other videos on them. But as far as just general like wear aesthetically, and it's been pretty good. The car is slowly starting to show its age, and I wanted to kind of share that with you guys so you guys are aware. If you're in the market for an M2, or if you already have an M2, you kind of know some things to look out for and to check. Yeah, that's probably going to be it for this video. So if you found this helpful in any way, leave it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, as I'm really trying to push towards that 1,000 subscriber mark to get monetized and start making money off this channel. Yeah, leave me a comment with any kind of long-term issues you have with your M2, and that's going to be it for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time.